and welcome to all of you on this beautiful day and to the 50th year of commencement exercises for the Walnut Hills School for the Arts. Now, as chair of the board, I have been asked by the board to deliver a very serious message today. And that is, congratulations to the great class of 2023. Well done. Seriously, though, I have been allotted a few minutes to say a few things, and you'll notice the repetition of few there. It was the least they could do. But there is another message that I would like to pass on today, one which I heard as a freshman in my college orientation from the then dean of the college. I've never forgotten it, and I thought it appropriate to pass on to you today. And that message is that the life of the mind is preeminent. All else is secondary and tertiary. The life of the mind is preeminent. Now, I hope the most important thing you're taking away from Walnut Hill today is the ability to learn to think, to create, to develop those incredible talents of yours, to love, to create a community of critical thinkers, not closed, righteous minds. And as you go on in your life in various colleges, conservatories, companies, gap years, etc., you are being rewarded with the chance to continue to learn, to use your minds more fully. And as you progress in your various careers, be they artistic, professional, or vocational, remember there is nothing more important than the life of the mind. As you age, lifelong learning and creativity should be your North Star, your touchstone, for the pure satisfaction of learning new things, for overcoming life's roadblocks, and for sailing along unencumbered on the freeways of life. You're going to have some interesting challenges. Much of social media, news feeds, etc., constitute the ecosystem that we are part of, and they encourage a short attention span, sometimes not conducive to thoughtful analysis. You will be the first generation to have artificial intelligence at your fingertips, for good and for the potential for misuse. This should never be a substitute for thinking. Using your mind to solve problems, create original works, write clearly and effectively, and to progress as individuals. That is not to say you won't use AI as you learn. Just remember, unused muscles do atrophy. And so as you go out from this very special place of learning and creativity, I'm going to repeat once more, the life of the mind is preeminent. And today, going forward, I wish you all the best in every success that life has to offer you. Again, congratulations and Godspeed.
Jenny, thank you so much. Greetings to you all, welcome, and thank you for traveling from all over the world to attend this ceremony. I have been incredibly honored to serve this year as your head of school. In class of 2023, I'm thrilled that you are the first group of seniors I have the privilege of addressing in a set of graduation remarks. It has been an incredible year to watch you grow, support one another, and absolutely flourish. You are graduating today as Walnut Hill celebrates its 50th anniversary as an art school, a brave and bold idea that has impacted the arts around the globe. Today you join a prestigious group, over 5,000 Walnut Hill alumni who enrich our society tremendously in the arts and many other important professions. 50 years from now, I know in my heart that your class will have made remarkable contributions to ensure our world is a better place. Seniors, in order to celebrate you, it is vital for us to express deep gratitude to people who have helped you prepare for this exceptional moment of your lives. Without the vision and fortitude of stellar leaders and boards of trustees over the decades, we would never have become an art school or survived the first decades as the school garnered an international reputation. A few weeks ago, I traveled to Cape Cod and met Earl Batchelder. Earl is 95 years old and was the head of school that stewarded and launched Walnut Hill to transition from a school for girls to a school for the arts. The same day I met Earl, I had lunch with Stephanie Perrin, who was our visionary head of school for 25 years and built Walnut Hill into a global arts powerhouse. And I spent a lot of time last year in person and on Zoom with my predecessor, Antonio Viva, who among many accomplishments set Walnut Hill on a tremendous journey to embrace diversity, inclusion, equity, and belonging. Please join me, everyone, in thanking all of our remarkable leaders and boards whose shoulders we stand upon and without whom we would not be here today. Seniors, the evening I signed your diplomas, I thought about the unbridled joy your parents and guardians must have felt when you came into their lives. I wondered about each of your first names and yearned to know the story of how you were named. From your first moment until today, I know the journey of your parents and guardians to love you, raise you, educate you, and help you find your way to Walnut Hill has been filled with hard work, enormous amounts of sacrifice, and many sleepless nights of hope and anxiety. Joined with siblings, aunts, uncles, and grandparents, these amazing people allowed and encouraged you to take the leap to pursue your dream of attending Walnut Hill. Boarding students, your families let you leave home much earlier than they ever dreamed and have coped with the pain of your absence from family life with stunning grace. Day students, your family said yes to a daily schedule that at its most grueling runs from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m., all the while putting together stalwart carpools and wasting many, many hours waiting for you in Stowe Circle. Their dedication to and love for you is unrivaled, and I want to thank each and every one of your family members for sharing you with us. Please join with me to recognize all the family members without whom we would not be celebrating the class of 2023. They're amazing. While thinking about your class this spring, I also began to wonder about the very first time you tried your art, how old you were, where it happened, and what it was like, and all the stories you and your families could share about your journey as a young artist. The story of your early accomplishments that were catalysts for your growth, and the epiphany, the moment that you realized your purpose in life is to make art. I also thought about the exceptional educators who were inspiring and influential in helping you reach the level of excellence required to attend Walnut Hill, which is available to just under 300 students in the entire world. One of the things I love about Walnuts is that you know how much of a true privilege it is to be here. And lastly, I thought a great deal about the exceptional adults you have had at Walnut Hill as teachers, mentors, and guides. To work at a boarding school for the arts is all-consuming, and it is not just a job. It is a calling. You would not be moving on to the amazing next chapter of your lives without their level of dedication, caring, and uncompromising high standards, right? Please join me in thanking and recognizing Walnut Hill faculty, staff, and dorm parents for their Herculean efforts at providing you with a world-class education, taking care of you around the clock, and launching you to become a young adult of promise and purpose. Class of 2023, what a journey you've had. None of you experienced high school the way it had been experienced before. Throughout and despite a global pandemic, each year your class grew in size, resulting in the supremely talented and compassionate group we have here today. You welcomed and bonded with new classmates each year through a worldwide disaster, and even for seniors who joined Walnut Hill this year, you quickly found friendships and artistic relationships that will last a lifetime. Seniors, this is my first year at Walnut Hill and your last. To be honest, I'm not ready for you to leave, and I know many adults on the Hill who feel the same. As someone who is finishing my first year, I want to share with you what I believe the defining attribute is of your class. Courage. You've displayed an enormous amount of courage during your time at Walnut Hill. Courage to honestly reflect on who you are and who you wanted to be, understand what you needed in a community where you could truly be yourself, and to find the path to Walnut Hill. You had the courage to either move away from home or commute to the Hill early in the morning and late into the night in the pursuit of your passion and your dream. You and your families had the courage to stay at Walnut Hill as we weathered the pandemic, or participated in the truly audacious act of joining Walnut Hill during COVID-19, which many of you did. Your class has boundless courage to advocate to adults for your needs and the needs of your class, including the past few weeks we've spent together at senior lunches, where you have given me, as your head of school, your unvarnished advice and accounting of your Walnut Hill experience, and I thank you for that. Seniors, you have ferocious amounts of artistic and academic courage, finding your passion at an early age and going against the grain by becoming an artist. Before Walnut Hill, I know some of you felt misunderstood, marginalized, or bullied by peers for loving your art so much. I need you to understand this. By being an artist and an intellectual, you are already displaying leadership. Artists are truth tellers, holding a mirror up to highlight the best in our world while calling out the worst elements in humanity that desperately need to change. You embrace this challenge and responsibility with grace, empathy, and a firestorm of hard work. In my 20 years of serving as an educator at some of the nation's premier independent schools, your academic and artistic accomplishments are beyond anything I've ever seen. WFMA students, where you at? WFMA, all right. Presenting compelling, thought-provoking work at the WFMA Senior Show, only to follow up 3 weeks later with brand new films at Script to Screen. Amazing. Theater students. Yeah, I know where you are. Producing a deeply poignant night of student-directed work, followed up by a hilarious Neil Simon's Rumors and an 8-show run of Mean Girls that made my head spin. VA students. Scrambling with your friends to install every inch of Poop Gallery with your art in under 72 hours, and then using all of Highland as your canvas at the VA Spring Show last week. Dancers. Producing an entire night of stellar student choreography, and 2 weeks ago, dancing on the Opera House stage alongside Boston Ballet trainees. And last but not least, music students. Blowing our minds with a crazy 1980s Offenbach opera, collaborating and performing in 20 senior music recitals over the past 30 days, while bringing your all to our jazz, chamber music, and composers concerts, all the while staying up and showing up for your academic classes. Class of 2023, it is an understatement to say your relentless courage to push yourselves and your peers is a true inspiration. And we on the Hill can't wait to see how you will develop and grow in the future. You are leaving behind a tremendous legacy of creativity, compassion, leadership, and growth. The bar has been set incredibly high for the cohorts of students who will follow in your footsteps. I want to thank you for choosing Walnut Hill and ask that you never lose touch with us. We are always here for you. We care deeply for you. And from the bottom of my heart, remember this: you are our treasure and our greatest hope for the future. Congratulations, and my deepest gratitude to you and your families. Thank you.
I'm short. Hello. Thank you, Eric Barber. This was amazing. My name is Kristininova Yelizaveta Artyomovna, or just, as most of you know me, Lisa Crest. I'm a writing, film, and media arts senior from Russia, Moscow. And I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like you're actually here right now? Do you feel your feet steady on the ground? Do you feel the cold breeze in your cheek, in your graduation cap, so slowly falling off your head. Do you feel like you're here right now? For so many times today, we're going to be told congratulations. We're going to be reminded what's waiting for us. We're going to feel so much. We are feeling so much, aren't we? Being young is an experience I struggle to find specific words for, because these past 4 years have been the most difficult years of my entire life. I've never struggled more. However, in these same 4 years, so many of my childhood dreams came true, and I've been at my happiest. Those two realities somehow coexist at the same time, and I would lie if I didn't say that it messes with my head a lot. How could being young be so beautiful and yet so excruciating hard? Nowadays, we have so much freedom to decide how our future will look like, and yet that brings us so much uncertainty. And we have so many choices and so much pressure to make the right ones. But we can never know. So one thing I learned is when stepping into the abyss, maybe we could at least choose something that resonates with our hearts. Because living a life truly is never a waste. I made it, and so did all of you. Please don't close off from reality. Especially in our tough careers as artists, we get lost in our future and look at the clock and think time is running out. But time is here, right here. So at this moment, my dear class of 2023, I want each of you to think about now, about this campus, about people next to you. Come on, look at each other. Look! We've all laughed on the hill. We're stressed in preparations for shows. We're angry at pop quizzes. And finally, cried at candlelight with passion. I'm so proud of you, of all of you, for feeling all of those things. Because feelings are supposed to be felt, truly and with passion. And now I would like to read you a poem that tries to answer the question I asked earlier. Maybe this duality of life, of youth, is actually a gift. Maybe being able to feel this enormous range of emotions is what being alive is about. We're never going to be younger than we are right now. Take a moment, think about it. We are never going to be younger than we are right now. So seize it. The good, the bad, the everything. I wrote this encased with Heather's room, looking out of that window. It's a poem called Walnut Hill Tree, and it's about that big tree next to the gazebo. Check it out later. I sit on a hill, looking out in the distance. Cars after cars passing Bacon Street. But when I turn my wooden gaze, there are students creating something I might never understand. In August, they're lying on a hill, climbing my branches, crawling upside down, until Miss Castle's voice calls them down. Thank you for keeping my branches safe, miss. Because soon, my leaves will fall, and nobody is going to notice me. But I will keep watching them. When the sun comes down, I see cars driving home. And now I see nothing but secrets. A girl sneaking into a dorm, and lovers kissing under my care. But when the clock hits 6 a.m., they all disappear. Just for the early birds to go on the run. You know who I'm talking about. I see it all. I'm an attentive observer. I see the tears, the smiles, the fights, the acceptance, the rejection, the jealousy, the anger, the attraction, the heartbreak, the love. Oh, how I wish I could feel all of those things. If only I could be like one of those kids. And even though those kids, they are sad. They are so very sad, overwhelmed. Sometimes they are blinded to the things I see, their beauty, their strength and talent, and how lucky they are. Only on a graduation day, I see this little kid. He was not a little kid anymore, looking up at me. And now, for the first time ever, they really see me. They see what I saw. The details, the beauty that was here all along. And a tear will drop down their cheek. Oh, how I wish I could cry. Because there are always going to be walnuts on this green hill in my old, observant eyes. Thank you. Good morning to the Walnut Hill administration, faculty, fellow students, family members, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates. My name is Gracie O'Leary. When I started high school, I was convinced I was going to become a software developer. Truth be told, I was pretty good at coding. I even won an award for developing a mobile app in a contest for girls who code. This seemed like a pretty good, and in all honesty, realistic plan to me. I loved theater, but that was a hobby, not something I could make a living doing. Then the pandemic hit, and my world, like I'm sure all of yours, was turned upside down. For me, the struggle ran deep. Isolation lent itself to depression, and before I knew it, I was consumed by struggles I was incapable of managing on my own. In October of 2020, I was hospitalized for an eating disorder, depression, and 2 tick-borne illnesses, Lyme disease and babesiosis. I spent over 200 days in the hospital. 200 days. Especially when you can have very few visitors because of a pandemic, is a lot of time to reflect on who you are, who you want to be, and what actually matters. Thanks to my family, I had the best care a person could possibly get, and I am so happy to say that I am in total recovery now. But I am a changed person. When I came through my sickness, I had a new recognition of how precious my life truly is. I also knew that I could no longer settle for having a plan that is simply realistic for my life. I needed to take my world by storm, or at least try. That is when I found Walnut Hill. I took the tour, auditioned for Joe Cabral, and started my junior year as a theater major. I was fortunate to have BDJ cast me in my first show, Our Town, Out of the Gate, where I played Simon Stimson, a tragic character who eerily mirrored my life just a few months before. In doing so, BDJ taught me that my past will always be a part of me, and that is not a bad thing. He also taught me that good artists use their life experiences as tools to unlock authenticity, vulnerability, and singularity. I learned not to shy away from what feels scary. My next 2 plays, directed by Steve McConnell, explored genres of drama that were foreign to me. Steve pushed me, critiqued me, and challenged me, all the while letting me know that he thought I was capable of excellence. Meanwhile, my academic teachers, like Kate Westhaver, pushed me to hone my writing skills and made me realize I could make interdisciplinary connections and incorporate my writing skills into my future plans as a performer. While I could wax on about how great all of the teachers, classes, and performances were, because they truly were, those are not the greatest lessons Walnut Hill has taught me. Walnut Hill has taught me to not be afraid to fail and to have the courage to dream big. It takes guts to pursue something you're not even sure is possible. And we've all had people in our lives tell us that our goals are unattainable, that our dreams for ourselves are too big. Most people settle for pursuing smaller, more realistic dreams because they're afraid of what might happen if they fail to reach the goals that really excite them. But here at Walnut Hill, we have learned that with zeal for our art, a willingness to work hard, and the ability to make big, messy mistakes without questioning our paths, we can achieve what we set our minds to. We can achieve what others deem impossible. Among our graduating class are writers, filmmakers, visual artists, dancers, musicians, singers, and actors. We are different kinds of artists, but we have one paramount quality that unites us. We are dreamers. We are risk takers. And to be fair, so are our parents who let us pursue our passion in high school. We are choosing paths that will involve many failures. I don't know about you, but when I look back at my college application process, I got a lot more no's than yeses. I suspect that if I had stayed on my path of becoming a software developer, that would not have been the case. But then, I wouldn't be living my dream. And this has been a dream. This school, all of you, these extraordinary teachers and administrators, this incredibly talented class, our supportive parents, and together a community that is a rare and special gift. And we are just getting started. As we leave here, let's not forget the most important things Walnut Hill has taught us. Dream big, work hard, and use failure as fuel. To my fellow classmates, let's remember, if we don't fail along the way, we are not dreaming big enough. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edwina Sun, and I hope you will enjoy my poem. Villanelle for the Farewell Lover. Home is a word that closes like a door, the sound all stories make when they end. Home is both the after and before. Naivete, the salesman, shows me his store, but my allowance gives me no time to spend. Home is a word that closes the door. Old names collect dust behind the drawer. My nostalgia remembers and tries to amend. Home is always the after and before. The years peel my heart into an apple core. Solitude is a mother who won't pretend that home is another word for door. Outside, the willows don't dance anymore. Time is a tempo they can't transcend. Home is their after and my before. Epilogue is the name of a distant shore. Adolescence is a funeral I must attend. Home, the word that closes all doors. Home, the exit where you begin once more. Thank you.
Thank you, Edwina. That was serious business. Thank you. Faculty, students, staff, trustees, families, and friends, I want to start by thanking Mr. Barber and the administration, the trustees, who chose this year to let me speak, a teacher. I am not an astronaut. I have not authored books. I'm a teacher. And by asking me to speak, you've signaled to all of us whose life's work is in the classroom that you value that work, that what we have to say is important. Through the pandemic years and all the changes that have followed, it has been a super weird couple of years to be a teacher. So thank you for recognizing the work that we do and for recognizing the faculty in this way. Graduates, class of 2023, the thesis of my address is as follows. Listening is power. I will proceed. We live in a world with a lot of shouting. Angry shouting, shouts for help, shouts to buy stuff, shouts of warning, shouts of panic, shouts about what you should be and who you should love, shouts to be heard. Much of this shouting is important and should be shouted. Much of it is manipulative for commercial reasons or for political reasons. And I would like to propose that in a world with so much shouting, there is a great need for and great power in the fine art of listening. Now, I'm aware of the irony here because I'm just like doing all this talking and you're listening, but just gonna have to work through this. Okay, this speech is short, okay, I promise, but it comes in 3 chapters, okay? Chapter 1. Chapter 1, in which my wife is a genius. If you want to see excellent teaching in its most pure form, you should observe a kindergarten teacher at work. Kindergarten teachers understand at like the deepest level that learning actually happens all the time, not just when you like think you're preparing it and doing it on purpose. When jackets need to get hung up, learning opportunity. When we need to take turns with markers, learning opportunity. When we need to walk single file down the hallway, learning opportunity. And recess, of course. Recess, not usually part of the curriculum, but we all know recess definitely full of learning opportunities. So my wife, Liz, is a kindergarten teacher right down the road at the Lilja School. And she, again, she's kind of a genius, and she understands that learning happens all the time. Last month, she was watching 2 students in her class playing together in what looked like some pretty intense make-believe. I believe there were some Legos involved in the situation. So there was some battling, there was a lot of back and forth. All in all, some serious learning opportunity was clearly underway. So during cleanup time, she asked these 2 students, "Hey, what were you 2 playing over there? It looked like you were really into it." And the students replied, "Mrs. Gregg, we were playing good guys versus bad guys." And without missing a beat, my wife, again, a genius, my wife replied, "Oh, you're playing good guys versus bad guys, but what about the medium guys?" So what about the medium guys, she said. So basically with like that one question, she encapsulated like my entire history class right there. So we do this like crazy. We take complicated things and we simplify them. We give things easy labels, and then we think that the labels actually define the thing. And then we take action as though we understand what's going on. And we do this long after our kindergarten teachers have taught us to do better. We're still playing good guys versus bad guys all the time. Poverty, immigration, gun control, climate change, complicated. But listen to how simple the shouting is. You and I, our communities, our friends, what we love, what we need, complicated. But we so often flatten each other out into simple caricatures, and then we shout at those caricatures as if they're real. We have created the most amazing tools for communication ever, like maybe after like talking and writing. But right now, the architecture of those tools strongly privileges shouting. But complexity requires listening. Solutions require listening. The truth requires listening. So watching Mean Girls a couple weeks ago, I was struck by my favorite character, Karen, who, when everything in the show was telling us that she was stupid, turns out she was the one that was listening the whole time, maybe better than everyone else. She said that while we think everything is one thing, in fact, everything is 2 things. She didn't flatten Regina into a mean girl. She saw that when Regina was mean to other people, it was because Regina was unhappy with herself. Now, how did she know that? Karen turned out to be more complicated. Turns out that Karen had been listening. So listening helps us understand each other in the deep and real way that everyone deserves to be understood. Listening helps us resist the shouting of good guys versus bad guys that so often is used as leverage to manipulate and divide us. So, end of chapter 1, listening is not passive. Listening is the power to pursue truth in a complex world. Chapter 2, in which I learn an important lesson from my dog. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, true story, I came downstairs in the morning and our dog had barfed on the couch. So he wasn't really sick or anything. He seems to, like maybe he swallowed a leaf or something like that. And now, there it was, all over the couch. So that day for me had a lot of things in it which I thought were complicated. Some students needed some edits on a paper. This student had been absent for a week, didn't know what was going on. 2 students had been unkind to each other the day before. I had to figure out what to do about that. I had stuff to print. I was worried that the printer might not work. One of my advisees gotten in trouble. My club needed to have a meeting, like all in my head. And that's just the school stuff. You know, also in my head, like I really needed to visit my parents. Like American politics, kind of getting me down. Turns out, climate change is real. So all this complexity around me, so much on my mind. But there I was, looking at the dog and looking at the couch. So here's the thing, I don't know how you would react to this situation, but weirdly, I felt that morning that the dog had given me a beautiful gift. With all the complexity of the world, sometimes, if you stop and listen, the right things emerge as very, very simple. So at that moment, the next 15 minutes, my mission in life, the reason I was on this earth, the next 15 minutes were very clear. At that moment, I knew exactly what I needed to do. I had a clear purpose. I had no doubts. I didn't have to figure out whether to use Canvas or Veracross. I didn't have to worry about whether we had the right car insurance. No. My job was to clean the couch. Having such a clear purpose, even for that short time, it made me happy. Such a simple, simple thing to know your purpose. So I think of the amazing artist, Jess X. Snow, who spoke at Assembly a few weeks ago. Their work was technically complicated, but their message struck me as so simple, so clear. With these huge public murals, they were creating visions of a future in which all people were seen and heard. And by creating visions of this future, and by doing it in these big, bright, and public spaces, they were making that future live in the hearts and minds of everyone who saw that work. Was this idea complicated? No. Its power came from its undeniable simplicity. It wasn't worried about the noise. Its vision was simple, clear, and powerful. Jess listened to the needs of the communities around them, and then, in an amazing way, cut through the noise and declared the simple truth that everyone is worthy of being seen as they are. Listening helps us understand ourselves. It calls us to own the terms of our own happiness and not to hold as worthy and to hold as worthy the work that matters, whether that work is a mural to support a marginalized community or whether that work is simply cleaning up the couch. End of chapter 2. So again, listening is not passive. Listening is the power to understand the simple truths that matter most to ourselves and our communities. Chapter 3, in which you are better than I. So I have to tell you that when I was in your seat in 1990, I was not a good listener. At that time, and where I grew up, nearly everyone looked like me, spoke like me, and without really doing anything special or having anything original to say, people seemed to listen to me. Of course, this was a privilege I'm still working to unpack. But in another way, this was a curse, because it has taken me years and years to learn how to stop talking. Again, I appreciate the irony of this moment. It's taken me years to learn how to listen with an open heart and without my own agenda. I'm still not always great at listening. But for 23 years, you students at Walnut Hill have been teaching me to be a better listener, asking me to listen so you could be understood as you were and not as how I imagined you to be. I've been learning from my wife, Liz, and my children, Rachel and Jonathan, who in their own ways ask me to listen so I can better understand them and become the husband and father they need. The great Steve Durning, who taught English here for many years, he was a very powerful listener. He once told me in his own gentle way that I did not have, despite what I thought, I did not have a monopoly on good ideas. I'm like, what? He told me that if I didn't stop talking and listen better, people would start to dismiss me, whether my ideas are good or not. I also remember, quite a long time ago, complaining to Miss Castle about some student life policy that I didn't like or something like that. It was attendance or check-in times. I can't remember what it was. So you let me go on, talking about my ideas and how good they were and how everything else was messed up. She let me go on, and when I was done, you said, okay, do you want this job? Vintage Miss Castle. And basically, and this is how I took it, basically saying, Ben, I hear you, you're a good person, but how about you talk less and listen to the people who are actually doing the work? So graduates, listen with an open heart, and you will find that things are not as simple as you thought. They're not as simple as others would have you believe. Listening gives you that power, the power to make your own choices in a world that is shouting to you. But also, listen with an open heart, and you will find that some things are simple and beautiful and worthy, without complication and without validation by someone else. Listening gives you the power to define what your heart needs. Why give that power to someone else? So class of 2023, what I'm asking of you is this. Raise your voices. Demand the changes that you want and deserve in the world. Pursue your dreams. Shout when you need to. But please also remember that truth, the complex kind and the simple kind, comes from the humble, quiet, but very, very powerful practice of opening up our ears. Thank you and congratulations.
Class of 2023, are you ready? It's time. And families, you're welcome to clap. We do not have to wait till the end. They deserve their moment in the sun. Nazrullah Hamza Hussein Abdur Rahman. Kiha An. Frankie Elizabeth Alba. Alex Aronsabal. Amin Arkish. Teddy Bailey. Gerald Bryce Bellamy. Samuel Benaim Grand. Sophia Grace Bogdanovich. Catherine Johanna Bopp. Julia Gray Brunner. Soren Wyatt Campagna. Dominic Frederick Carroll. Aaron Yushin Chen. Ashley Renee Chong. Wangqing Cho. Virginia Lorraine Clausen. Aiden Tony Collins. Emma Claire Cornish. Mateo Joshua Derek Montalvo. Ryan Matthew Dowd. Adeline Grace Esposito. Jacqueline Elizaveta Phillip. Andrew Wei-Sien Fong. Arnone Gaffney Kane. Andrew Orn Glass. Our next diploma will be presented by Matthew Glass, who is a trustee and also the parent of Audrey Elizabeth Glass. Winnie Bernice Goldstone. Ainsley Grace Grapondo. Luke Clark Gutierrez. Chloe Hahn. Sumie Marie Henderson. Sydney Claire Holmes. Yuri Hu. Jess Johansson. Lucy Aiken Jones. Ava Clelia Joseph. Nathan David Kahn. Wesley Kaplan. Sebastian Adams Kapoor. Dylan Elizabeth Jane Catwinkle. Cole Robert Kenyon. Sophia Mikyung Kim. Georgia Rose Kirschenbaum. Yelizaveta Kristianinova. Yes! Minty Curry Avalar. Jin Young Kwon. Zachary Alexander Constantine Lant. Jacob Matthew Lapham. Jianu-O Lee. Kate Lee. Sherlyn Yao. Yen Yang. Brianna Marie Manning. Thomas Jagger McCarthy. Susan Meng. Shirshi Min. Emma Elizabeth Murphy. Riley Frances Musey. Tara Kaori Nakata. Ravi Kumar Nguyen. Gracie Helene O'Leary. Grayson O'Neill. And our next diploma will be awarded by Bobby Owen, one of our college counselors, who is also the parent of Alexandra Elizabeth Owen. Frederick Robert Poor. Jacqueline Olivia Piles. Charlotte Elizabeth Rain. Ava Ellsworth Rosser. Grace Ann Kirsten Runhog. Elizabeth Grace Salmon. Hope Eliza Span. Anna Deirdre Stevenson. Isaac David Stratford. Edwina Sun. Glingtong Charlotte Sun. Mackenzie Brooke Tamara. Karina Indian. Rachel Lily Thompson. May Tran. Addison Grace Trist. Leanna Chingming Su. Remington Robert Urbano. Reese Zhu Wang. Lil Ping Clark Xiong. Hayu Athena Shu. Alexander Yi. Yesol Yi. Ha Yu. Jer Yu Ju. Justinas Mikhail Slabis.
Our school motto, no nobis solum, means not for ourselves alone. Class of 2023, I charge you with this. You didn't make it to this moment alone, and you will continue to lean on one another as you move on to this next chapter of your lives. Please rise. Please turn your tassels to officially become Walnut Hill graduates. Friends, family, and colleagues, I present to you the class of 2023.